The End Times Dictated Messages for Jesus to Dr. Mary Jane Even, 1 September 1993. Introduction. My dear children, my friends, I do not want you to be unaware of my desires for you during these days, nor do I wish to keep you in suspense about what further happenings will occur in these end times. Much has been written but little has been explicitly told you that which will occur. I seek to do that here so you will know and plan for all eventualities accordingly. I believe by now you have become aware that the church is in a state of schism and that will continue. I believe also you are aware that I wish you to seek out holy churches and priests to stabilize your spiritual life. Though your physical existence has become most difficult, many will only find spiritual safety in the underground church. Many will only recognize truth and faith among those amassed together in areas of safety. Many have moved and have become aware of the presence of the divine spirits of God protecting them. These things I tell you to remind you that for many months these have been the themes of our messages, for I have wanted all of you prepared in prudence. Many more will come to you now to seek safety. Welcome them and help them find a home. This booklet has been written to open up the doors of prophecy to allow you to see your future during these days ahead until the great chastisement days, which are the 3 days of darkness. It will be difficult for you to read on, and I ask you to take your time and study each section. Do pray, my friends, not only for yourselves and family, but for those who have survived the Great Warning, the Cold Period, the loss of your Holy Pontiff, Pope John Paul II. It has been and will continue to be a great struggle. I shall begin. Part 1. My friends, expect first a great crisis in contaminated water and foodstuff caused by a nuclear fallout over the United States and Canada. These nuclear warheads are to be detonated in Europe, but you will have the effects all over the world. This is the time when you most need the purified water which has been boiled with my mother's metal, the miraculous metal, for 14 minutes. Prepare large containers and sprinkle it on food and in your drinking water. You may have very little food stuff, but use them and share some in faith and trust so that I will replenish your food stocks. Only those with funds will be able to buy food, and only if you have the mark of the beast will it be sold to you. Be very wary about the purchases of food on the black market, yet do so if you need to do so, using barter as your currency. There will abound in all lands a series of devastating illnesses and diseases which will have no cure except confession and repentance. All those who have had abortions will suffer the long hours of labor and only be relieved by confession. These women will die in pain in a matter of weeks. No cure will be found, no relief given them. Another illness will come upon those who have promoted abortion, and these individuals shall suffer total stiffening of their limbs, and their skin on their limbs shall become tough like elephant skin. Another illness already among you will totally devastate all peoples not in sanctifying grace. AIDS will be contracted as a full-blown disease by touch from others, if not in the state of sanctifying grace. Another disease shall produce welts and boils on the skin like herpes and gonorrhea among those who are sexually active, and shall become fatal unless confession and reparation is made. Part 2. I have spoken of disease caused by personal sins and nuclear fallout. I wish now to speak of the plagues. All the 10 plagues of Egypt shall come also upon all in the world. People in all areas will experience the general terror of these plagues, but not all will be affected in the same degree. Just the thought of being affected will cause total chaos worldwide, as if the illnesses, food and water shortage and other man-made and natural disasters are not enough. These plagues will be real and cause many deaths. First, you shall experience an infestation of lice in cattle, in people, in homes, in fields, in food everywhere. This will last 7 days. Second, you shall discover that you are entrapped by an avalanche of beetles, grasshoppers, frogs and snakes which will eat all in their path, and destroy food in fields and invade homes, barns, buildings. They shall fall from the sky, come up from the bowels of the earth, and make havoc for 7 days upon earth. Third, you shall see the waters of the earth turn blood red and kill all living things in the sea. You shall not be able to get near this water for 7 days due to its contamination. Fourth, you shall receive from heaven a great meteorite called wormwood, which shall come upon the earth, striking it in several places and burning all in its path. You will not recover from these disasters, as the earth shall be scorched and all burned from this heaven-sent calamity. Fifth, war shall strike fear and all, and the Third World War shall so devastate some countries that they will disappear and be swallowed up in the sea. This war will last about 1.5 years, and be ended by the Antichrist, whose leadership will be acclaimed, but those against him shall begin it again in great earnest with nuclear attacks, missiles and warheads. These will strike at all major cities and destroy them, leaving peoples with no leadership and open to the whims of the powerful warlords. Next you will discover you are faced with great prejudice, and there shall be an attempt to kill all Christians, destroy all holy images, and desecrate the last remnants of the Catholic churches. The sign of the beast shall be forced upon all in the world to ensure that only those who remain are given food and water. Never ever accept it. Die rather than give your soul to Satan for food. For, my children, that is the consequence of Satan's mark, the bar imprinted on you with 666. Part 3 next. You shall be embroiled in scorching heat alternating with piercing cold. You shall have no means to either cool or heat yourselves. You will need to wander about and search for food, huddling in masses as refugees. Oh, my children, the ones who have so much today will feel the greatest discomfort. A new war will break out, for the peoples of China will invade the Soviet states and not be stopped as they cross that continent. They shall reach Rome and proclaim themselves rulers of the world. By this time literally half of the world's population will no longer exist. They will have died, been killed or assassinated. You see, my children, all this has been said in prophecy, therefore all must be fulfilled. Asterisk note. See page 103, Part IV. Let me describe to you what the United States will look like about this time. All of the states of California, Oregon and Washington and Alaska will no longer exist. It will all be underwater and or blown up from nuclear missiles. None of Florida will remain except for one place in northern Florida, a shrine as an island. Asterisk all of Washington, D.C., Maryland, North and South Carolina, all of New Jersey, New York City, Maine, New Hampshire and Vermont except for small islands of refugees and shrines will have been leveled and an earthquake will cause it to fall into the ocean. Asterisk the war will have destroyed most of Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana and New Mexico. Kansas and Missouri will be battle zones. The cities around the Great Lakes will have been hit by nuclear warheads. Asterisk your country, the United States will have lost over half of its people, with millions dying in a single day from the nuclear blasts and great drive of Russian and Chinese soldiers. Asterisk people ask me if this town or that place will be safe. My people, I have told you where it is safe. Go there now if you haven't already. Part V. But the end has not come as yet. Your next great disaster shall come about because of the war between rulers of various countries. Poland will fight again against Germany, and the day Germany decides to unleash many thousand nuclear warheads against Poland will become the first day of the 3 days of darkness. For, my children, as the Germans do so, the Polish people will send missiles to change the direction of the missiles and send them back to Germany, and they shall hit the factory where many more thousands of warheads have been prepared. This concentration and impact of thousands of missiles hitting many thousand more missiles shall cause such an explosion, unheard of by mankind or experienced by the planet Earth, that the planet will be redirected off its axis and rotate without proper gravity or light. You shall be in darkness for 3 days with no gravity, no force to hold you down. The devastation from such a disaster will so destroy the world that I must stop it, or no person or living thing shall remain on earth. And, my children, I will stop it in 3 days. Part 6. My sweet children of my heart, I have spoken of these things for the last time. Yes, these messages of my daughter shall be the last time you hear of these tragedies, but I wanted to tell you once more because so few truly realize what the just hand of God has wrought. You have not seen nor will ever see such come upon you, but this is what you are asked to live through, to live with me and my mother in the reign of peace. No, my children, not all will survive. Many who receive these words will not survive. Why? Because you may not have sought safety in the safe haven areas, or you may be taken to heaven because you could not bear to endure yet another crisis, or God calls you to be with him in peace, or you are not called to live in the reign of peace. If you do not survive, though you bear the cross of Christ on your forehead, it is God's decision for you. God himself will make all decisions on life, and no man shall take a life before the person is called, for many will suffer their purgatory on earth, and through such purgatory be saved. Part 7. Know this, my children, following the great warning, all mankind will be controlled in death by the Eternal Father. No one dies without heaven's decision. I say this to bring comfort to those who suffer for their family members and their welfare. Though God decides all matters on death even now, it will be particularly monitored during these tragic end times. Each day will seem to some as an eternity. Rest will be hard sought. Life will be hard, and your really only source of strength will be the Holy Eucharist, prayer, and trust and confidence in the Holy Mother of God and Jesus crucified. We shall help you. Put yourself under my mother's mantle and her sorrowful and immaculate heart. There you will be safely protected spiritually and better protected physically. My children, I cannot promise you won't suffer. No, I can't. You may be hungry, cold, ill and homeless, but I will be there to comfort you and guide you. My children, you will never ever be alone. I love you, my children, but I do not promise you more than I myself experienced. Remember, there is no suffering you could experience that I haven't experienced, no pain I have experienced, no hurt, abandonment, or loss I haven't suffered. Say, I unite myself to Jesus and his suffering and beg him to give me strength and courage in all the end times. Give yourselves to me. Abandon yourselves to me. I will take care of you in every way, though it will never be either frivolous or unneeded. You will have what you need. Part 8. This is a hard booklet to prepare, for it has the objectivity of a bystander, a storyteller rather than a loving and merciful God. I am sorry about that. Yet this final presentation of these details needed to be recorded for history, and history shall bear me out. Prophecy shall be fulfilled. I wish to speak again to those who seek the easy path and continually bargain with God to save them from disasters and crises. Oh my children, the hour of mercy has passed. This is the hour of justice, and the just hand of the eternal Father is mighty, praiseworthy, honorable and glorious to behold. Part 9. It is during these days that mankind shall struggle in the spiritual battle of good and evil. I have in other booklets demonstrated to you that the church will suffer greatly. The mystical body of Christ shall be crucified with Christ on the cross. Read again those booklets on the church, the schism, the Antichrist, the anti-pope, for those days are these days also. Yes, all shall happen at once during the end times. I believe you shall see many manifestations of both the divine and evil spirits. They shall confront you, disturb you. Good and evil shall wage wars also upon earth and in the skies. You shall see this and recognize heaven is also waging many contests of strength with the evil spirits. Do not hesitate to call upon your angels and patron saints to help you in your spiritual and physical battles. They will respond quickly and can perform many miracles for your safety and needs. Know this for a fact. Send them also to help those in your families. The days are now very few in number before many great man-made and natural disasters will occur. Your preparations should be completed now. Your best defense for both spiritual and physical is the spiritual support from prayer, fasting, sacrifice, reparation. Attend the sacraments while you can. Prepare your soul and heart and mind first, then your food. Prepare now, all awaits. Part X. During these days, my mother and I shall be with you. Appear to many for their comfort and solace, and maintain a bond or union with those who have placed themselves and their friends and family under our mantles and in our hearts. Yes, my children, we shall help you and be with you. Ask also your angels and saints to help you. Oh, my children, shall I find any alive when I come at the end of 3 days? Yes, I will. But you, if you survive, will feel there are no more on the planet. The whole earth shall have died except for those who have survived. What a day that will be! I shall descend in glory. Pray, my children. Pray well and be at peace, for the world will go mad about you. Pray well for souls who die. They will need your prayers. The most perfect prayer will be to live the virtues of faith in God, of hope and trust in God, in charity toward your neighbor, of prudence in planning to pray and work and recreation, of justice. Yes, practice heroic justice by praising God for his